Hello, welcome to Framework. I am Al Schwartz. With me, as always, is John Bernard.
Hey, I see you. Are they still
I
saying
see you
that?
too. I think there was one ICU in Fire and Ash.
And it's a good one. It's actually a good one too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's because it's Natiri to Spider, right?
No, I guess no. I wasn't thinking about that. We'll get to it. Hi, I'm
I think
June.
that.
Returning, our regular Avatar guest at this point, man. I think you've spoken to us about the previous two Avatar films.
I think so.
Joining us now for the third, and in the continuing Avatar series, Avatar: Fire and Ash, directed by James Cameron, out in theaters now for a couple weeks. Already made $1 billion. More of these forever. World without end. All right, welcome to Framework.
Yeah.
And
Joon Kim, of course, somewhere between regular Avatar correspondent and adopted human child into our Na'vi cult.
we're a bad Na'vi cult then, man, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but none of us like these movies at this point, right? Is that where we are?
No, that's not actually true. I actually really do appreciate and like the second one.
I think we should embrace being the bad Na'vi cult, though, because the bad Na'vi cult is the far and away the best thing going on with Fire.
So true.
That's right. Yeah, we're the Ash people of the online Avatar. I don't know. That's grand, and I don't know if we merit that high level of praise. Yeah, they have a name. I don't remember it. The Ash people. The bad Na'vis who are into red and into fire and live in a volcano.
Yeah. The Fire Clan, the sexy ones, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's start with that. This is something we've talked about. The weird fetishy quality of the Na'vi and their quote unquote sexiness. It seems very apparent, very intentional that these things are sexy. I'll be goddamned they finally made them sexy. I'm sad to report.
That's it.
I am now attracted to a Na'vi. Turns out, I guess what I needed was for them to be mean.
You too.
I need them to yell at me. I need them to, push me and make angry cat face at me and skitter really fast. I guess because Varang of the Fire Tribe. Yeah, she did it for me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not happy about this. Yeah.
She's into drugs. Drugs are cool. At least that's my takeaway from this movie. No, man, I'm with you. Like, okay, you show me a picture of the Una Chaplin fire Na'vi, and I'm not like, oh my god, va va voom. That's
right.
One sexy cat lady. But during those scenes, man, I'm just I'm hard as unobtainium.
Yeah, it's the way she moves and the attitude and just the confidence. She takes what she wants. Non-consensual braid sharing, all of it. Yeah, it's working for me. I'm afraid. They know this, right? I mean, it's quite apparent that the marketing team for this was just like, well,
she's on the poster, the whole time, like the pre-release and everything has just been her face, but which didn't do anything then. But yeah, once you get Una Chaplin's performance moving, then there it is.
Yeah, it's all in motion. I mean, it makes sense to put her on the poster because she's the new face.
The only new thing.
We've seen all the other blue faces we've seen a lot of already. So we got a new one. But yeah, you put her in motion and it's a thing to behold. I mean, this is the first time I think that I've been really bowled over by a Na'vi performance. Like, I can tell from the first two movies that Zoe Saldana is doing good. But then there's a lot of other people. Sam Worthington, it's almost the assignment for him to blend into the background a bit and let the effects and the world building take over. So it's not like he's screwing it up, but there's also forget that. Oh, there's a CCH Pounder and a West Studi under there somewhere. And those are can be very powerful performers that are not busting through the CG makeup effects.
They don't get much to do.
No, I mean, they're ghosts in this, right? I mean,
West Studi died in the first one.
I think CCH Pounder did too, right?
No, she's still around.
Could be.
She's still around. But you would doesn't surprise me that we're not totally sure. But yeah, she's still around.
Yeah.
Well, but the movies were always pretty clear that, like, you could tell from context that Neytiri was the hot one of the first tribe. And then in the second one, you could definitely tell just by the way it was shot that there was like, oh, the daughter of the water tribe chieftain or whatever. The movie's like va va voom.
Yeah, it's like Caddyshack or something. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And I never landed with me whatsoever. Una Chaplin, different deal altogether. She is just and she's somebody I've seen in other stuff and never been blown away by.
She's pretty got hot in Game of Thrones, at least.
Oh yeah, no, I've been like she's hot.
Yeah, but it's a very different kind of hot. In fact, it's not about how Rob's wife moves.
She just needs to be mean. It turns out, just mean.
I think that's a big part of it.
Maybe we're all revealing too much of ourselves here.
No, I mean we're not the only people who have noted
definitely
this.
Definitely not. Because any podcast I've like listened to in the past couple of weeks about this is like that's the common denominator is like blah blah boom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got what they were aiming for. Finally, like they figured out like let's make these things the sexiest goddamn things imaginable. And I mean I don't know if it's that, but it's certainly the sexiest a Na'vi has been.
I mean, it's been like something that I remember. Wasn't there like some old Cameron interview on Playboy where he's like very open about I want teenage boys to get horny for Neytiri pretty much because that's who was who focus was that time. But no, not until now, I would say. But I'm not a teenager. But yeah.
Oh, if I was a teenager, forget about it. Yeah, oof.
No one needs to. For as much like weird sex stuff as is baked into the Na'vi and their braids and however all that works, like those movies were not horny.
Not like this one.
They felt more chaste, more PG-13.
They're too normal. I mean, they're too noble. Like all the nobilities that was the big part of the reason I don't like them.
Yeah, it's a big part of it.
It's it's just like it's like you think you're better than us.
No. Oh, they definitely do. They I mean, the movie agrees with them.
Oh yeah, and I agree in terms of the actual narrative, but I never actually feel like for them, I don't like just like you guys are too noble. What are you hiding? And it turns out, it turns out you have to live near a volcano that screws your tribe over.
But then she gets to hook up with the villain, and that means they get to fly their freak flags a lot.
Right.
And just be about the bone and down in a way that does not have to pay proper reverence to the goddess Earth Mother.
They get to be the fact.
It's in spite of and this is a living god who is active in their lives, and they're just like fuck you. Yeah.
Like there's no faith in these movies because the faith that they're believing is literal. It's such a weird thing. Like the movie literally ends with the ending of Titanic. Like you get to see all your loved ones in the dream realm, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's not a dream realm. It's like it's literal.
Yeah, it is literal. You not whack in. You hack in. You hack in.
Jesus.
And then have a Zoom call with all your your deceased brethren.
Mm-hmm. I presume the whales are in there too. If I
don't know. I don't know.
They should be by how the movies have set things up. But visually, I think that would have been. I mean, I don't know what's holding them back on the visual frontier. This all looks so silly to me that I can't take it seriously anyway. But they've must have decided that I guess they would have to just be floating in the background.
And then you'd have to put subtitles on. Anytime the whales got a subtitle, I was laughing.
Oh, yeah. Always a laugh.
You will never hear my song again.
Not in Papyrus.
Still
not in Courier New.
It's so weird. Like, they still hold on to that font because, like, the title, like the big title and the title card, they've gone away from that font. They've made it a bit, bolder, and it looks nicer than the first movie's Papyrus. But they keep the Papyrus for the whales, so it just continues to make it even funnier.
I mean, I think it's like putting Jar Jar Binks in episodes 2 and 3 at this point. It's just like fuck you, it's there.
Yeah,
it's part of the thing now.
Yeah.
I already won. Here's your Papyrus. Get fucked.
It's like, I'm not into it, but he who else has earned the right to just go fuck you? I'll do it. So that's fine. That's fine.
That's very much his vibe in the interview circuit for this film too.
So he has gotten a little the thing I can't remember if it's just because I didn't care. Like, if it is it because I didn't care about this, but this promotional push with the actors, appearing on the Hot Ones and all that stuff, and James Cameron, doing all the YouTube show circuits, they didn't do that last time, right? I just can't remember. Like, it seems like they're being more aggressive about it this time.
I mean,
no idea. It makes sense to put the Fire Lady onto Hot Ones, I guess.
Oh no, it was Saldana and Worthington, not her, not Una Chaplin.
But I want Una Chaplin out there doing press. I hope this gives her a good career boost, because
I hope so too.
She nailed it to the wall here. There's no question. This is well, I mean, this one has, despite, I mean, we'll get into it, kind of being the worst one in a lot of ways. This has some of the best things in any Avatar films, and most of that is villain related here.
Fabulous villains, fabulous Disney villains.
Yeah,
right?
Like we got there finally with some of the things here, and like aside from Varang, Miles Quaritch finally is, like, I would say, a legitimately memorable and interesting James Cameron character, and one of the standouts for him, and somebody that I'm into and enjoying the performance of finally at long last.
Well, maybe this is an interesting way of looking at it, because I could make an argument for any of these three movies as either the strongest or the weakest of the bunch. But I would agree with you. I think that the third one here has the elements I like the best of it, with the villain stuff. However, that is bogged down by so much of this movie being a retread of things they did in the last two movies, but especially the second one.
Inexplicable.
Like, maybe that makes it the worst movie of the overall. So its weaknesses are the same as Way of Waters, but now it's the second time we're doing all that stuff, so it's like twice as bad.
On top of
I don't know how that
stuff in the
works
first one too, and it's the longest one.
Yeah.
It's the sloppiest one. It's I think, like, without question, like, if you look at the breadth of James Cameron's career, the worst story. Like, just as a script, this is just nothing. There's very little innovation here. I mean, if you take Varang out, and the movie eventually just removes her, last hour of the movie, almost no Varang. There's like nothing new here. There's almost zero that it is adding on to the premise, and it is just versions of scenes that we've seen before, and they're not arranged in a particularly interesting order, and it's the longest one. Yep. So even as this movie addresses all the problems I've had with this series up to this point, the lore becomes more interesting to me. The characters finally start to work. It's just, like, structurally the worst movie James Cameron's made, I think.
Well, this is a case of, I think it's been acknowledged that this is 2 and 3 were one movie, and then it's like, no shit.
Well, sort of, but, like, on paper, how does that make any sense?
I mean, I think it's just like, by splitting into another movie, they just kind of doubled down on, like, well, we need another Death Star, so they do another one. Like, it just kind of...
It feels like they did the same. It's the same plot, and they just did it again. So they like took half the material and just rearranged it into the exact same plot structure.
It feels like what Star Wars did to Return of the Jedi, where, like, well, we're only going to get to make Star Wars, so we'll put the Death Star attack on this one. And so when they get to do the third one, oh, well, we need another bigger Death Star. So that's basically, you're just getting another finale. But then
another midpoint finale, though.
And then you have to, it's right. Because this is not the end. This is not the end.
Explicitly not the end. Like, this progresses the story in almost zero ways.
Right.
So you can definitely tell, this could have been one movie. And Cameron usually is sort of a genius at structure, like you were intimating there. And it's not even like split. It feels like it's copy pasted.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, so when you watch that, deleted, you're talking about Star Wars, that deleted Jabba the Hutt scene in A New Hope, that they put it back in for the special edition, and you see that, and you go, oh, well, it's kind of interesting to meet Jabba, I guess, but also you see why they cut that, because it was not like, it's just an alternate to the Greedo scene. It's reusing dialogue exactly from the Greedo scene 2 scenes earlier, so having them both in at the same time makes no sense.
Right.
And that's what Fire and Ash and Way of Water are like to me, is that there's a huge chunk where, like, we did this whole sequence where Quaritch captures Spider and they kind of bond, but not really.
Yeah.
We did that last one. And then even within this movie, like, we're still protecting the goddamn whales.
Mm-hmm.
We're still crying about the son's whale boyfriend being outcast from the whales.
Yeah.
Jermaine Clements turning on the corporate overlords again, as in the grand tradition of Joel David Moore and Michelle Rodriguez before him. We're bringing back the flying monster from the first movie. We're doing the exact same tactics of like hiding on the underside of the floating boulders and dropping down on top of people.
Whale attacks. Whales attack whaling boats at the end. I was like, for real? Yeah. The exact same finale?
It's Sigourney Weaver's having to connect to Awa to bring in the animal cavalry.
That's how they save it in the end, yeah.
I don't remember if that's how the second one resolved.
It is.
But I felt like I was watching her, jack into the Awa braid thing for the 10th time in this movie. Mm-hmm. Like like I was saying, sorry, even within this movie, we're 2 hours and change into it, and I'm going, what do you, am I watching Jake Sully surrender to Quaritch again?
Yeah.
Like Spider's been captured by Quaritch and escaped 2 movies in a row. There's two different, there's multiple Quaritch has basically identical lines where he says like, don't think we're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya together now after they cooperate to save Spider. I'm like, you did the scene at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm taking crazy
scenes
pills.
where Quaritch, defies his nature and joins up with apparently like his buddy at this point, Jake Sully.
That is some of the stuff that I enjoy because I don't think they talk that much. This time Jake Sully is actually trying to appeal to Quaritch's better Na'vi nature this time because I don't think he did that last time. But I haven't seen Way of Water since when
I haven't watched it since
out.
The first time I saw it. I have not revisited it. I'm really glad I didn't revisit it for this.
Yeah. I know, though.
I would be even angrier.
I think I've seen. Weirdly, we know like a mutual guy online that he was glad that he saw it right before he saw the third one, and that's why he likes the third one more. I was like, I don't know how you made it through like those two movies, watching them back to back so quickly. It's just at
the length, man. At the length, I was feeling like regretful, like going into this. I was like, boy, I'm not going to remember anything. I don't actually remember much of Way of Water. And then I was like, I think that was just the same fucking shit. I got bored in this, to be honest. That's never actually happened with one of these before. 3.5 hours or whatever this thing takes. I was kind of just like nodding off a little, not quite, but like I was checked out for the back half of this movie, and that's kind of crazy. I feel like for a movie of this kind of grandeur and spectacle, and the effects are better looking than they've ever been before. It's still a cartoon, but it looks better than it ever has. And I'm just sort of like, you got nothing new to show me here except the sexy Na'vi.
I mean, the sexy Na'vi is new. I like that, but I don't even know if I like it.
I'm unhappy.
It's confusing.
Yeah,
because I said it's strange. I'm not really feeling horny. I'm just hard as Wolverine's kneecap for some reason. And so, the repetition was making me feel like I was going insane for a while. Like, do I remember? Like, am I misremembering? Didn't Quaritch kill Jake Sully's son like 20 minutes before this movie starts in like movie time? Like,
no, I think there's a little bit of a slight time gap. Like they've been trying to kind of get along, but it's really all fuzzy. Like it keeps it pretty vague, but at the same time it does feel like Quaritch just got back and now I need to go get Jake Sully again. But yeah, I think it's a weird, hazy like chronology.
But Jake Sully seems like the son's death seems to be fresh in Natiri's mind, and she seems mad at Spider about that. As I recall, Quaritch actually, fired the bullet or whatever that killed the kid, and Jake Sully is like appealing to his better Na'vi nature and being like, we should really try and like cooperate for Spider's sake or something, as his stepdad or whatever. But also, like, why aren't you in a blood rage at this guy? Like, wasn't it yesterday when he killed your son?
Now, it's been, a few years since I've seen it, but I think Jake Sully's clearly favorite son was killed by a stray bullet while they were trying to save their siblings. I don't think there was like a directed... It wasn't like Quaritch, the one who did it. That's my vague recollection of it. I think it was just
it was Quaritch. I think it was cool. You know what? Here, I'm going to find out on the Way of Water wiki because none of us.
I wanted
it.
Joon to be right because that's how Fire and Ash plays to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think it was a stray bullet that he caught while because that's why the younger brother blames himself because they went. It was through his urging that they were involved in the whole finale anyway. It's like I don't know, bro. All right, bro. And eventually, I think during the escape and everything, I think he catches a stray bullet the same way Sigourney Weaver catches a stray bullet in the first Avatar. And then, oh no! I think it's that kind of thing. I don't think if Quaritch was the one who made the shot, and this is going to be stupid when it turns out John is right. But if it was like that, I feel like Cameron would know it would be much more like direct. Like requires payback.
Okay, pointedly, Natium was not killed by Quaritch. He was killed by Lyle Wainfleet.
I don't know who that is.
I believe
that must be the other guy,
the bald one, the get some one.
Get some.
I think that's who that is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes more sense as how this goes. I mean, here's the problem I have, Joon, is that like you're saying, I am constantly flummoxed by this saying Cameron should know better. Like the guy with the unfailing commercial instincts for 30 years, even when. Like not obvious things. He still had those instincts. And I guess like these movies, their box office would prove out that it's not really problems. It's just by issues that I'm having.
Yeah.
But it still seems like
no, I'm still on your face. Like it's kind of inexplicable that they somehow keep winning. And I feel like the narrative is almost kind of turning because there are now people who said like, they've always been kind of on the side of these movies without being loving the movies because fuck all these hipsters that that don't get it. It's like I don't think I'm a hipster in that way, but I kind of as somebody who has enjoyed some of these movies, I kind of don't get how they become so like the biggest movies in the world.
Yeah, I'm not my consternation with these movies is not like I don't think generalized sort of snobbery against populist entertainment.
Right. We love populist entertainment.
We celebrate the earlier Cameron movies for being
You can go
populist.
back and listen to me talk about how much I enjoyed Quantum Mania if you want on this podcast.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that per se, but I'm not opposed to this sort of thing. It's just I just don't fucking get it with this, man. And I have noted I feel like there's the Avatar Defense League online is feeling a little forced right now.
I think there's a bit of that. I think it's more reactionary than actual love for the movies. Like Avatar is good actually. It's like I mean if you enjoy it fine, but
I doubt people are going back to these. I mean I'm sure some groups must be. Yeah. They must be to be making the money they're making. But like I don't know a single person who's like, oh my God, I'm so into this.
I'm still on the page that I still find the first one to be the worst one, like no question, just because it's so thuddingly straightforward that like And so this one, I'll take a shaggy, messy, overlong, but with more interesting stuff almost any day beyond than that.
It's sort of academic because I don't anticipate rewatching these at any point.
I don't think I'll rewatch this one. I did go see Way of Water one more time, like just to see it in the IMAX 3D high frame rate. Just because, how else am I going to see it again? I'll see it like that one more time.
That's another thing. That's another like these movies collapse the fewer things you have. The more stuff you take away from the presentation, the less value they have. So watching these at home would be a massive chore. I feel
so like you were bored by just because there was no progression in the story, and I completely feel that. But at the same time, I'm watching it for like the big tech demo of it all, so I'm just kind of there appreciating. Oh, this shot they went for high frame rate. This shot they didn't. So like I'm engaging with it, outside of the like I'm engaging with the presentation as opposed to just the story, the flat out narrative, which is
to engage with it probably
spinning, wheel spinning like crazy.
Yeah. I do think that there is an element of the pro-Avatar contingent, at least among the film dorks even, that it's partially informed by sort of an anxiety about the broader collapse of the theater system and the studio system that we're engaged in. And when we celebrate that there is any successful movie out there that's not a Marvel movie, and it's an auteur taking a big swing, you also kind of want to you want that to be able to continue to happen. So like, this one's not perfect. We're like still going to rally around it or whatever. That's part of it. I also, just over the holidays, I did some time with family and, had some real flesh and blood people, person tell me that, oh, you don't like Avatar. I had so much fun with that in the theater and all that. I was like, yeah, I hate the Na'vi is what it comes down to. They're like, oh, okay, fine. But, it's
Tell
all,
them I hate them.
It's such a great, the theater experience is so much bigger and more overwhelming than anything else. And the eventually was like, also I was on a little bit of mushrooms and, you should probably like a microdose wouldn't hurt or anything. I'm like, you know what? That's a part of the theater experience that I've been missing. Maybe that's the thing, but it's also one of those things that you're not going to it's a piece you're not gonna be able to recreate at home as easily. Along with high frame rate and 4DX bouncing around technology.
At some point, there'll probably be like drugs you can take to recreate that experience at home or something. They'll like figure that out. You don't need glasses; just take a pill. It'll be 3D, high frame rate, and everything.
It's kind of like finally would deliver on the promise of smell-o-vision.
Yeah,
this is a full sensory experience. And you know what? I don't think we're going that far as reservation here, because Fire and Ash within its story makes explicit that drugs are a part of this world, and to really experience it. I mean, that's how Miles Quaritch gets sold on the Na'vi experience.
Which is, I'm trying to remember, was there any drugs in the previous two movies? Like when Jake Sully's initiated into the rainforest people's tribe, did they do anything? I can't remember.
I don't believe so. I think I would remember that.
Which is weird because in terms of just these movies working very much in the space
Sensory.
cowboys and Indians like genre, like usually even the noble tribes will have something like that.
Like an ayahuasca journey of some kind. Yeah. Well, they have.
I feel like old timey 50s westerns didn't really dabble in that element of it that much. So this is drawing from like John Wayne wasn't tripping out with the Navajo.
God, I wish that'd be.
I mean, so I don't think there was explicit drug stuff there, but it's sort of muddled because the entire aesthetic of Pandora has the vaguely psychedelic like color palette to it. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it looks to me all like those glow in the dark posters you get from like Hot Topic, where like a Gandalf wizard is smoking a pipe surrounded by purple glowy mushrooms.
I guess it's their god is literal, so I guess you don't need to actually take drugs. You just need to connect.
But the fire can't do
drugs.
anyway.
If you're one of the bad folks, you can do drugs.
It's like fuck,
and it rules.
Fuck AWA. We'll do it our own way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. It's the bad guys that can do drugs. I don't know.
I love how they have a drug trip sequence in this movie, but there's really like nowhere for this visual palette to go with that, except so they add like a couple of Dayglow red and green stripes to the like Dayglow blue and
right and
purple aesthetic.
Right,
that's like all they can do.
Yeah.
Motion trails. That scene worked. Like high frame rate works for that because like. High frame rate, I go see these because they're already cartoons anyway. So like, I don't care that, it looks off-putting in live, quote unquote, live action. Right.
Yeah,
so
I'm already fully off-put.
Right. It's already kind of off-put by all that. So when it goes into Varang's, the drug trip scene, it felt like a high frame rate video game, a POV shot of like a tutorial level. This is what you do. And, I'm in, Quaritch's headspace and it's moving at 48 frames per second. It's like, I feel like I'm playing a video game again.
Well, this is another reason why Quaritch ends up being the best character, is that, he's doing interesting things and having experiences and making choices and being proactive in a way no one else is. And I want to be on the journey with him, as it turns out. I would almost be like at this point in the series, it feels like Quaritch is the protagonist of the Avatar series. Like he's going to be the character that we end up following, who goes through the most change. Mm-hmm. I know, and he is going to be the antagonist the whole time. But I think ultimately, this is the central character here.
Yeah,
oddly enough,
he's still on an arc, is what it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, whatever Jake Sully's arc has petered out long ago.
And then, Quaritch is like basic Avatar journey is now like contrasted to Jake Sully. So that's his like Jake Sully's the grounding, like he grounds it so that Quaritch can be like do whatever he wants. Thing is,
Quaritch is even going native by getting a native girlfriend too.
Right. He's like he's on that journey. He's doing all the stuff. He shows up the human base with his whole entourage. It's like these guys are my buddies are going to sleep over here. It's like what?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's all good fun, and that's when he goes native. He comes back
red
with
carpet.
I'm wearing the red stuff now. I'm all in.
In terms of design, that was another thing that made Vrang more appealing. She wasn't like outright blue. She was usually covered with all sorts of other colors, like red. The blue was toned down. The blue was heavily toned down.
Mm-hmm.
And since she's mean, the big cat bug eyes aren't uncanny. They're a feature, which is the thing that Una Chaplin, as beautiful as her eyes are, her eyes aren't that big, right? But combine that.
About that, I mean, as much as it's maybe one of the best parts of the movie, the whole drug trip, into sex scene stuff going on there where they're hooking up.
For certain it is, yeah.
I kind of wish that they had taken the trip in a different direction of maybe that would have been, well,
oh no, oh yeah.
I just mean visually, even because it starts off with such a psychedelic palette on Pandora to begin with that is there a way to flip that around and have
you mean you want Quaritch to go to a subway? Like in Friendship?
A little bit.
Yes. That's it.
I was actually going to use that as my point of reference, but then I remembered that John has not seen Friendship.
I'm sorry.
Was specifically steering away from that.
I've heard of this scene. Yeah.
we talked about it in a recent episode how we hadn't. Anyway, but if you could have inverted it somehow, where maybe we put the Na'vi walking around an Earth or an Earth environment in a way that flips the uncanniness of when you see a human spider or a human Jake Sully or Joel David Moore walking around on the Na'vi thing. I don't know. Is there a way to make it trippy by flipping around who was the fish and who was the water or whatever, or something there? They went with just some red and green stripes instead. Okay, still the best part of the movie. But I guess that informs how all the most interesting stuff you could do with this world seems now more focused on Quaritch than with our heroes.
I feel they almost feel like to have backed into this on accident. I'm glad they're taking it and running with it, though. I mean, who is the protagonist? I guess it's kind of Spider, which sucks.
I don't know that he's a protagonist, but he's the most important figure on the hero's side.
Yeah, he's the mover, the plot mover, for certain.
He's the what's that in video games? You have to watch him. What's that? Like the babysitting missions?
Sure, the escort missions.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Escort missions. His whole family is a liability. Just getting kidnapped all the time. Oh no!
There were so many captures and escapes in this movie.
Yeah.
That's not a big complaint for a swashbuckling movie to do, but rescue missions and stuff. But sometimes it's oh, we were captured by the tribe, and it lasts for 3 or 4 minutes, and they're escaping again, and then they're captured by Quaritch, and that lasts for a couple minutes, and they're escaping again, and then Quaritch gets a drop on him again, and Jake Sully has to surrender himself, and then we do a big research. It's just, again, the sense of iteration and just we're doing this again and again and again.
It's what I'm talking about with sloppy. The structure of this thing sucks so hard. It's if you try to map out what happens in this movie, which I kind of did in advance of this podcast. I was like, well, I don't exactly remember the narrative here. Let me get this clear in my head. And it's just a series of just they caught us. Oh, we escaped. They caught us. We escaped. We're going to a place, and then we're there, and then we have a conversation and we leave. And there's no rising, falling action to this, Mm-hmm. And even the second one is more of a hangout thing, there's an hour of that where they're just sort of chilling out and, and looking at water beasts. And
that's probably where it gets, he padded it out for the second one so he could, have more fun in the water before the plot stuff has to kick in. And that's why, the split, we're spending so much money on these movies. Why not split it in two, make more money? Because it's all we can.
I hate that. This is a problem, man. The economy of the storytelling is terrible here. and
It's
like it makes no sense to me that you would have all these scenes take massive pre-visualization. Like you're working on these things for years, and the amount of design and the amount of work that is required for the mocap to look right, and we're doing these things, and Kate Winslet held her breath for 25 minutes, and you couldn't like see on the page that this script is
we're doing two giant whaler battles.
Yeah,
to finish 2 consecutive movies in like the same geographic location.
But this one that has a swirly vortex for some reason.
Yeah,
it's like a sex scrum in the middle. Yeah, whatever they're doing there. The whales suck, man. I'm tired of these damn things. I mean, they're so dumb too.
But June's talking about just the random anti-gravity tornado that just exists in the middle of the ocean all of a sudden.
That's different, of course.
It's like we just need a portal beam to the sky for whatever reason. It just needs a little focal point. So it's not even just derivative of itself. It's derivative of all the stuff that we got tired of in blockbusters.
Yeah.
Sky portals and water portal all at once. Since I mentioned the whales. Turns out their disciplined pacifism is self-serving bullshit, right? Like, there's no excuse for it.
It's the Democrats.
Well, I mean, it's. I would rather it be that than. I don't know. Okay. I can't believe we still have to convince these whales to fight.
I thought we did this already. Turns out we did.
They're aware of a fleet of hunters coming to slaughter them. They've been slaughtering them. They are being actively genocided. Like at a certain point, I'm losing sympathy for these whales. Like maybe there's a reason you're having such a hard time in this world.
And they're even still giving Payakan shit. They're just like, man, why? Is that the kid's whole plot in this? Loak, this whole thing is like, man, it sure sucks that Payakan's still an outcast. And I was like, yes, it does. It's stupid at this point. It's really dumb. He saved all the whales last time, and now we got to still go through this again. And they're easily convinced. At this point, like after, they have to bring the blind one in, I guess, is the resolution, and that gets them, okay, I guess we'll fight in subtitles. Papyrus.
A wizard should know better.
But they are not easily convinced to fight. I think it's too hard to convince them to fight, like because they're not skeptical of, they're not really going to come kill us. They're like,
no,
we just shouldn't do anything about it. I'm like, fight? You don't want to fight? How about not be here when they get here? Like, just go
and ignore our traditions.
Make them work for it. But apparently that would be too,
and the other thing about those
against
scenes
their
is
pacifism too.
I was referring to the Ents in Two Towers. At least they can talk and have scenes. You can't have scenes with the whales.
The Ents are a good version of the whales.
They're so goofy.
That doesn't stop them from having those scenes.
Right, no. So you have these they have to have a council scenes in order to do it, as opposed to two hobbits trying to talk to one central guy.
I hadn't connected that. The Ents actually is them figuring out how to make this thing work, I guess, or rather the whales is just a bad version of the Ents.
Maybe. At least that works better, because I know people didn't like the Ent stuff.
It's some of the worst stuff in those movies. It still works and is good though.
Right. Because at least it's charming, because John Rhys Davies is kind of doing his thing. Like there's a performance in there that you can attach to, as opposed to whales just going with subtitles.
And their impotent pacifism is also kind of like both. It makes sense and works for them, and is called out and is corrected within the course of one film. It doesn't happen again in Return of the King. It's
yes, and they're also not all like shaming and shunning the one Ent who was doing something.
Right.
At the same time, the other thing, going back to structure too, like the Ent scenes are nobody's favorite in the Two Towers, probably. At least they're not mine. Yeah, but Two Towers is so well put together that it is still so cathartic and satisfying when the Ents wrecking shit at Isengard is cut into like the whole multi-way climax. Yeah, that when you just cut to them and I can see the guy, the Ent just shoulder hucking the one boulder across the field, and the music kicks in, like that's blockbuster populist filmmaking stuff that can make a crowd of normies cheer at a giant tree throwing a rock. And
but Al,
I don't get there with the whales.
What if with Return of the King they did it again?
Right, exactly. People can fight. I mean, that's part of it. Some people's issue with Return of the King is that no matter kind of what you do with the pieces, the big battle in Return of the King can't help but feel like a retread of the Helm's Deep and the Two Towers.
At least it's much bigger, I guess, is the thing. Like they just scaled they scaled it way up. Like
it's also not the emotional end of the film. I mean, there's an hour of Mordor and Frodo after that. It's the actual and is good. And I mean that all.
It's not literally the same characters in the same geographic location.
Right.
Fighting the same enemies.
Yeah, and at least we get some elephants and shit.
Yeah, at least we get good speeches out of it. Good motivational speeches. Oh, that was the thing. I was cracking out.
Yada-yadaing the motivational speeches.
Yeah, no, they did it last time. They did it in the first movie. They yada-yadaed it again. Because Jake Sully is a terrible orator. Like, your children and your children's children. It's like, it's the most boilerplate. Like, it is my problem with Avatar. And I guess it applies to Jake Sully's, oratorial skills, too.
Or Sam Worthington's, I wonder.
And the thing is, I've said this in the last podcast about Wave Water. I actually have come to appreciate Sam Worthington's bland, like, now he's just trying to do his best. Now because in the first one, he's just the generic hero's journey guy. But with the second one, I appreciated his...
He's put upon dad now.
He's a put upon dad. Yeah. He has his wife is like, screaming at the other tribe, and he's just kind of making a cringe face. Like, I like that aspect of him. Like, his blandness, I've come to kind of have a little bit of affection for. And so when he's like talking to Quaritch, I actually like those scenes where he's trying to appeal to Quaritch's like, don't you see like what this world is like? It gives Quaritch something to bounce off of. It's like, no.
Well, all those conservatives so close to getting it memes that Quaritch is doing.
It's like, nah.
It's like, you know what an asshole Gavin Newsom's looking like on social media, Jake Sully?
It's one of those where
here's the thing. I would agree with you. There's something about the Jake Sully characterization that could work there. Mm-hmm. Structurally speaking, if Jake Sully, the character, is a bad orator, that fits and also opens up a lane for one of his kids or Neytiri or somebody else to be doing the motivational speechifying.
Which I guess they kind of do with the young son convincing the whale tribe, but even that doesn't work because, that's nothing. Like it's just more of the same. So yeah, like, no, I completely get your point, but it's just like has Cameron wrote motivational speeches? Like, has any of his movies had football speeches where people go back for inspirational speeches?
I mean,
not directly like that, but Aliens has.
Like, Sigourney Weaver is a good motivator and speaker in Aliens, but she doesn't get a good speech. She's kind of just direct and smart, and that's why it works.
In terms of Cameron's, reputation, good structure, but dialogue is a little bit iffy. Yeah. So maybe speech is not the best way to go.
His other movies are more, I think, they're not about rallying entire armies. Yeah. It's about smaller groups of people. So Ripley's motivational techniques are more interpersonal than they are rallying a crowd of strangers.
There. Yeah.
I mean, there's elements of it in Terminator, maybe not the best. The Terminator movies, Sarah Connor, he can give a let's go kick that guy's ass speech. I guess.
It's just very impressive. So the actions speak louder than words kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a Lord of the Rings, let us mount up and ride to defend the West type of thing.
Yeah.
I wonder what you bring in like a real script doctor here, like one of the good ones, like get a Tom Stoppard, to come in.
You know what's funny? Oh, sorry to interrupt on this because last night I visited some friends and we watched The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, the 1992 Rebecca De Mornay movie.
Of course, the classic.
Classic. And the movie's credit had Amanda Silver. And I was like, that name doesn't strike a bell. And I looked it up. It's Amanda Silver of Silver and Jaffa, the screenwriting married couple that did the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and are now the spearheading the Avatar sequel writers' room. Like they are which is like, so he does have other people. He does have essentially, script doctors. Yeah. They have writers. He has a writer's room, but the weakness is it made him messier, but the dialogue is not popping, and
this stuff seems so hard. I mean, there's so much. These things are, I'm sure they wrote most of this dialogue, in 2013 or something.
Right.
It takes such a long journey to screen, and a lot of it's been built in a computer years before. It seems impossible to control something like this, or at least maybe just from the result. It seems very difficult to quality.
Yeah,
control.
this makes it look hard. It's I mean, Kevin Feige pulled it off. Like that's just saying you don't need Tom Stoppard, but maybe having the Russo brothers, like as much as everybody's like, oh yeah, they're frauds now or whatever. No, but that's what I can look at Captain America: Civil War and how it juggles 18 different known characters, gives them all their beats without having them repeat themselves constantly. Right. And that's what this movie needs. And yes, there is an Avatar writer's room that I've heard about. I think it's still all kind of the faults I'm finding all the way down to Cameron anyway, because what this looks like to me is there was a room full of people that threw a lot of ideas at the wall, and there was no guiding hand to properly decide what is chaff and what is wheat. And so it looks to me like you had 2 or 3 different people pitching versions of the same scene, and then we end up using both versions of that same scene.
Yeah. And the justification for some of this stuff is weird. Like the first movie, my criticisms aside, it has voiceover narration by Jake Sully to guide the audiences through his journey, and they justify it by these are part of his was it video recording that he has to record these things for the project that they're on. Yes. The second one, it has him narrating again, but it's just a little bit at the beginning and at the end just to give it like a bookend. It's Jake Sully narrating again just to bring people up to speed of what happened. And now the third one, it begins with the son being the voiceover narration. Even though he's not really the lead, the movie's too messy for him to be the lead character.
Yeah, it's not from
his point of view, so the voiceover feels like a cheat.
I was prepared for Loak to kind of end up being the de facto,
right? And nothing like that happened. But not at all. There's no movement for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I do think this actually benefits Jake Sully as to what you're saying. With him not having to be the center of the story, he works better. If he's part of an ensemble, he bothers me less for certain.
Yeah.
This is again, part of the messiness here. Who is the lead of this movie? Who is this movie about, really? And I guess it's Spider. I don't know. Functionally, it's kind of Quaritch, but it's sort
Quaritch
of
more.
Quaritch drives the story more, but that's not unheard of for a villain in a movie, especially in a genre piece. To be the most active character. I thought it was Loak. I guess I was grandfathering that in from Way of
Loak's just doing Tulkan Payakan stuff. That's it, right? He's not involved in the Ash people plot. He's not involved in whatever Spider's up to, really.
He has his stuff with his
dad. It doesn't even really progress
the
romance stuff with the Vavavoom tribal daughter.
Not at all.
They're just already
just a few more of them get
terms.
Killed off is essentially what happens.
Which is such an afterthought. It was
like,
oh no, they died. It's like Rachel McAdams in Game Night. Oh no, they died. Okay. It's like
I did think it was sending a full-term pregnant woman into battle was a real choice. But I don't know. Na'vi physiology is whatever, blah blah blah. I guess.
Isn't it weird that Cliff Curtis also completely disappears from that finale? You see him flying his fish for a little bit, but after that, I thought he died until he shows up at the epilogue or whatever. Oh, he's still alive. Does he feel any way?
No, it's not weird because everybody just disappears from this finale without resolving whether they're actually alive or dead.
Because it's juggling all these balls, but it just drops a bunch of them just because we have to focus on the main ones. But yeah.
But Quaritch drops into a cloud of fire, but obviously we know he's not dead. Edie Falco, we were given a real we think we see her over the shoulder as her ship is getting sucked up into the anti-gravity tornado, but they leave wiggle room to bring her back if that was somebody else.
Edie Falco decides to come back, she's back.
If she even remembers that she was in these movies, apparently.
Yeah, she shot in 2016 or something like that.
And then
Parker Selfridge is the same.
Shuffled off screen, kind of unceremoniously at the end, and you're like, okay, good on you for not it would be fine to give her a definitive ending in this movie. And they try to do a little bit of the alien queen, get away from her, you bitch thing, but they also don't want to commit to offing her. And I understand that part of it, but it started to feel, again, so many iterations of this. I was getting very frustrated with the just commit to something to an end for one of these people other than I wouldn't be surprised if the whaler guy who got taken to the bottom of the sea in an orca's mouth comes back next time with
he was a guy. I definitely thought was dead. And then he showed up again. I was like, oh, I guess he was fine.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a cool skeleton hand now.
And nothing's changed. He's just he's more like a Croaky Ahab than ever.
I mean, I think it'd be funny if he comes back and like now he's got robot lower half of his body, and like he keeps coming back with fewer pieces of him. I mean but again, it's just them not killing him. Finally, that is the only person who I actually know for sure died in this. Well, no, Kate Winslet died. We know that.
Kate Winslet died. She says, and now I die.
And some of her random kids died that we don't care about.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was going, oh no, they died.
Definitely got killed. Yeah,
it's the ones who like it's the Vava Voom's like older brothers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if one
they
of them
didn't get
died
killed off in the last one.
No,
seems like a thing you would do.
Mm-hmm.
No, only the Jake Sully's favorite son died.
Right.
Which is one of the things that's one of the things I enjoy about Jake Sully, because he clearly had a favorite son. I enjoy that about him. Like and the movie this sequel makes no bones about that. Like, you know, he kind of blames
the wrong kid died.
That's I think that's a nice thing for Worthington to play, and I think he does a pretty good job.
Okay, what else is Jake Sully doing in this? He has that big scene where he considers killing Spider, which I think is a little hamstrung by Spider's performance.
Oh yeah, like, this scene would be nice if not for Jack Champion.
Well, I mean, I'm annoyed by it because it's like, you know, AWA made it very clear that it wants this kid alive.
Right.
Like AWA kind of went out of her way to make sure he could live here.
In this case, is that true? Because isn't it the big thing is that Sigourney Weaver's character is the one who forces it but even though she can't connect to AWA, like, I can't remember. Like the whole thing about
surely she could in that case,
right? With Sigourney Weaver's character having like performance issues with connecting to AWA, like it was just kind of something tacked on just so that it could have that final moment. Please, AWA, come to our help, so that we can have another Avatar 1 finale again with random. So what hasn't she used yet? And now it's squids. Like they introduced earlier in the movie for like, why do they have this random scene? Oh, they'll come back later.
I like the squids. Squids are all right.
Are cool.
You know, it was just like another water beast, but still, you know, we needed squids at some point. And they're horrible, horrible deaths that they visit upon the bad guys.
No, I have no issue with that, but it's weird that was the big gambit. Like, because in the first movie, it was like all the flora and fauna of the rainforest coming to help. And this one, no, it's just us. We can get the job done. We Squids can get the job done.
Well, and the Tolkien army, of course. You know,
well, the Tolkien army, they were already kind of in the game. Like they were already right.
I mean, that's the escalation, I guess.
They were losing
bigger whales.
They were losing to the
pincher
Chitauri.
Squids. Yeah, that's why it's different than last time. You see,
it's that arbitrary moment where like, oh no, we're doomed. All hope is lost for some reason, and then we need one more final play.
All right, what else is Jake
which
doing?
is fine way to structure an action sequence. It's just we've done it already in these movies, these exact same environments with a lot of these exact same creatures. And throwing some squids in this time is not nearly enough to counteract that feeling of I've been here and done this.
So with that, I don't think Sigourney Weaver connected to AWA for the big finale in the second one. I think it was all like
did
that a bit. I don't think she did. I think this was
I thought she definitely did.
I mean,
I would say she must have, but I'm like, what?
I think everybody is
the way that whole thing was set up.
They're all escaping in the big ship. Remember, it became like a whole abyss kind of like in the bowels of the ship escape scene. So I don't think there was any AWA connection in my memory.
It wasn't the first movie, right?
In the first movie
this is going to be annoying to people who care about this, and boring to people who don't.
Fair enough.
It doesn't matter.
Story.
It doesn't matter. Is the point? I think.
I think because of all the retreading, it feels like she must have done that in that movie too. I feel like that's kind of what's fucking us up memory wise.
That's the thing. It's things big and small, right?
Yeah.
It's doing the same whale battle again, but it's also just like I felt like at a certain point I was watching the 8th or 9th shot of Jack Champion holding his tiny little child knife up and hissing at somebody 4 times his size as if he was going to do anything.
Right.
Well,
And it's like I'm tired of this shot.
Ultimately that's the thing. And is the problem here, it's not necessarily that we're redoing stuff plot-wise. although that's not great. But bigger than that is that it is visually repeating itself, this is a visual spectacle. This is the first Avatar movie that is like added almost nothing to the.
I'll say, what is it? Similar to the way the Fire Nation or the Fire people like get dispatched quickly, which is like, no, don't take them away. They're cool. It was like David Thewlis and his air people were also like introduced, and it's like, oh, that's cool, and then they're gone for the rest of the movie after like that first introductory action, which is a cool action scene too. Yeah, no, and it was visually different, and it was like, oh, here's a new thing that we're seeing. Here's a new culture, a new aspect to this, and it was. It felt like, that's early on in the film, and you're like, okay, this is going to, we're doing iterative stuff. We're doing new stuff. We're going to see some new people. I assume much of this movie will take place in the Fire Nation and on the volcano people. No, it doesn't. There's a short scene with them and drugs that's pretty good, and then it's the same visual palette as the last film. I guess because
the same stuff.
There's no magmatanium for the humans to go after in the volcano. I guess that's why. Like, nobody wants to fight over that area, so they've run themselves into a corner with that. I guess, unless they.
Hey, you got a whole writer's room. Contrive a reason to fight on the volcano instead of in the same lagoon.
Kidnap the kids again. Take them to the volcano. I'll toss them in here if you don't come in. That's what. Yeah, Cameron loves the water. Cameron loves the water too much, I guess.
Yeah. Well, And I guess so, but again, even as a water movie, the last one is better, right? Yeah. I mean, this one has squids, but otherwise, I would say, the cooler water stuff is in the last film. Yeah. So what's even on offer here? Sexy evil Na'vi is basically the big thing, Yes.
But why do we need 3 hours and 20 minutes to do it all over again? That's for things to be this repetitive, I have to think you could shave this down to a lean 2 hours 45.
Yeah,
and this is one of those.
My God,
I've wondered about could you put cut these two movies, the 2 and 3 together into one movie? But I don't think you could because of all the weird repetition. But there's just enough where all the stuff with Spider has to because he has to learn how to breathe air on the planet now. Like that's a big shift for him. Good for him. But how do you, and just as a thought experiment, how do you tie these two movies to get to be its original one movie? What do you do? But I think there's too much weird repetition, but it's all slotted differently in a way that makes it weirdly impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that
we're starting to repeat ourselves.
There's one 3-hour movie version of this movie that includes the fire people and the water stuff. And only one iteration of Quaritch capturing Spider and Jake surrendering himself to Quaritch and all that stuff. But
then his favorite son has to die in the middle of it, but they all blend together anyway, so you could maybe just delete that.
Just take Nityan out entirely. Yeah, you could, right? I don't know. He's a real asshole to Loak as a result. So that would be
there's a version of this that would exist, but you have to do that in that writer's room. I don't think you can cut it from what is actually on film.
Right. Well, I wonder if you could make something that makes sense, like Topher Grace style, that takes 2 hours.
Loak will just be this imaginary son that he never had. Like why can't you be like this imaginary son I've imagined?
Is there any point to that, though? Obviously, these things are massively successful. You learn no lessons from massive success. They're just going to... a fourth one is all but assured. I don't know if Cameron himself makes it.
Right.
And if he doesn't, we're probably not talking about it if Cameron doesn't direct it.
He's been kind of talking himself a little bit off of it. He'll probably make them, but he doesn't sound like I'm in for these for 6, 7, 8 movies. But now he's going if this one doesn't do well, he's kind of.
Is that just his sort of passive aggressive?
I think so. I think it's a bit of that. I think it's a bit of that. He's just kind of everybody just makes these assumptions now, so maybe I'll do something else.
Maybe people don't want to do these, huh? Maybe people would be happy if I just went home and didn't make Avatar movies. Dude, calm down. You won.
Yeah, that's what he constantly always makes himself like some kind of underdog.
That is what's sort of confounding to me about the Avatar Defense Brigade too, is that we've somehow managed to turn the Avatar films into the underdog.
It's the whole cultural footprint talk and all that.
Right.
I find it people are tired of it. I find it an interesting thing because how can such a big movie feel like not even normal people talk about it? I'm friends with normal people who don't talk about stuff the way we do. Avatar never comes up. Like,
and this stuff is organic. Like, I mean, I have so many opinions on things like on any sort of superhero franchise that's ongoing that that kind of be like against my will. I have opinions on a lot of this stuff, and like I've somehow just ended up giving a damn about the Snyderverse versus the new DC, and I don't actually care, but it's all just there, and people want to talk about it, and it's part of it, and there's just no conversation to be had about Avatar.
To me, it's like the way, like my comparison is the way, like, our circle, like I remember back in the day, like 30 Rock was like the most hilarious, like funniest show that we talked about all the time. But that show was never like a huge ratings monster the way something like 2.5 Men or like Big Bang Theory eventually became. And those are the ones that are the, like, Avatar is like 2.5 Men of, blockbuster movies.
Oh, damning. Yes.
Well, but I think the Defense Brigade views it as the 30 Rock that is going up against like the MCU being the 2.5 Men.
Right. So like, so like, it's kind of flipped, like the kind of the stuff, this conversation is flipped in that way. I feel like that's mostly just reactionary, because it's like eventually you get tired of arguing about whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and you just kind of go like fuck this dialogue tree.
Well, the thing is, for me, like James Cameron, like these things are successful. I think people do like them. I mean, at least a few people I talk to like them. Yeah. I don't care if he keeps making them, except for this entirely self-inflicted thing where, because we did a podcast where we do every James Cameron movie, I feel like I have put myself in a box where I'm not allowed to ignore them because we have to do this episode. And so I go in knowing I'm not going to like it. I'm already mad at the 3-hour, 20-minute runtime. And it's, of course I didn't have a great time, but you know what? When Una Champlin's strutting around, I just, in spite of myself, I'm harder than getting my HMO to pay for an eye exam. It's just...
Yeah.
It has the best delivery of "ICU" that these movies have had so far. Like, it's like, "I see you." It's like, "You bet your ass you do." It's like, this is a great inversion. So, "ICU," that's boring. Have somebody say ass, and it'll make it better.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Ultimately, this is kind of like, this has some of the most interesting stuff and things I've liked most in the series. It's also like probably the worst film, and I'm kind of just tired of them. I'm kind of just done here, because it seems like the creative engine has it's certainly not moving us forward anymore. I mean, it seems to have stalled out for me, but I assume if there is a fourth one, and there will be, it's going to have to shake things up again, right? It's going to have to be a new.
I think that's the idea. Because these two, I think they shoot it very specifically with the kids that they have playing the young kids, because they're going to grow up fast, right? So they shot all that stuff.
Oh yeah, Sigourney Weaver's not going to be 11 years old forever.
There's that, yeah. And then the what is it? There'll have to be like a time gap for or something, and so maybe they'll finally do something with Earth or something. That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Earth is going to make.
Care about that? I'll be honest. I don't care. What are you're gonna find some nonsense to make Jake and Neytiri have to put like an Avatar into human bodies again or some shit. Whatever contrived nonsense that's going to be, I don't care. I assume Earth looks like Blade Runner. I assume that, it's going to suck there. One thing I do like about these movies is how aggressively anti-human they are. I think that's very funny. Which seems
in that
sort of
regard,
incidental.
It reminds me of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes trilogy. Like, there's very much on the side of the apes, which I'm all for. Which, once again, Jaffa and Silver, they're on that. Maybe that's what got them this gig. I don't know.
I mean, human hate that you've demonstrated in this ape films. I need you to bring that over to to Pandora.
I think that I went on at some length about this in our earlier episode, so I don't read it entirely, but that is part of like the barrier that I can't get over for these movies, is just that I like them in the abstract. The idea that they're so anti-human is interesting and odd, but I can't get over how the embodiment of the organic woo-woo nature vibes look so completely inorganic to me.
Yeah.
And the only thing that looks remotely real or natural to my filthy human eyes are the humans that represent the mechanization and the rape of the land and all that stuff. And I just, that dissonance for me, I can't really get over it, and it kind of screws up the world building that Cameron's usually really good at. And there's also the other thing that I think we also talked about last time, but fucks with me. These characters live in a future that is the future of our Earth, supposedly.
Yeah.
And they are caught flat-footed by the whalers who wanted to hunt space whales in exactly the manner that people hunted whales on Earth for centuries. And like, it's something is in the back of my brain. There is this splinter, like, why isn't everybody constantly looking around, like commenting on how, like, man, there sure are a lot of similarities between how Europeans treated Native Americans and how our group of humans is treating these aliens with broadly similar nature-based religious beliefs and distinctly similar fashion senses and weapons technologies and identical tribal structures.
Well,
and
I mean...
Like, that's part of what makes these feel like they're PG movies in a way that the Terminator movies, as much as they are, or Aliens, we talk about, Cameron makes great animated movies for kids. These feel like kids' cartoons with some weird, like weirdly atonal adult world building stuff grafted to them.
That's what's interesting about them to me, though. Like, is the more lore, the more they steer into that, and the more they want to talk about Awa, and they want to, get into the Fire Nation and the pincer squids and all this stuff. That's kind of the juice of these for me. I just wish it was attached to a good script or a good story or a story that wasn't such a mess. This could have. I don't want to say this could have been the best because it lacks the main thing that I'm coming to these movies for, which is sort of innovation, visually or just narratively. This sort of deepens things that are already there is about all this does. And so I don't know what I want, I guess, at this point. I kind of just don't want them, I think. Ultimately.
I think maybe what's shitting us a bit about this is that it feels like the flaws or the issues with the writing here are not inherent to the concept or the limitations of the world that, you can gripe about the Marvel movies or whatever and how they all end the same with closing a sky portal and happily ever after or whatever. But it's like, yeah, you can't really do, No Country for Old Men in the Marvel universe. Like there are limitations to what a Star Wars can be, I guess. Star Wars is pretty expansive.
In terms of just the blockbusters, they need to be crowd pleasers. But
this can be crowd pleasing without repeating itself so frequently and so directly. Right. That it feels like unforced errors above and beyond whatever are my misgivings about the creature design and the color palette.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that the lesson of a lot of this stuff is that it is all elastic and you can do more than they are trying. It's risk aversion in most cases is the problem. And I don't know, at this point, I think we're there with Avatar too. Like it's we're maintaining a thing at this point, it's a franchise.
That's how the first movie felt to me. Like it felt like a risk aversion, like in terms of sanding down anything that could have been interesting in that world to deliver a very, very straightforward, bad speeching, hero's journey. That was my big issue with that one. The whole thing felt like something that could have been really interesting and fun, made into like the most frictionless experience possible for all audiences.
Well, that's why I kind of like.
Didn't we put that at the feet of he's doing something that just. It looks so weird and is such like a strange concept to sell that like they feel boxed in like they have to give us straight like by the numbers.
Yeah, I didn't like. Yeah, I definitely heard that defense, but that didn't really never sit right with me either.
And by the third one, like clearly that people are on board with this.
The second one is where I kind of got. The second one is where I got like the shagginess and little messiness that I enjoyed a lot more than the first one. And this one, it feel like he reverted back to the status of the first movie, where like I need to do the same thing or something in order to.
Well, that's the thing. Like the second one is the best because it is, I think, the weirdest, and it's it's the most wild swings. And I would love to say that we're keeping on that path here, but we're not. We're doing the same stuff as the last one, and it doesn't feel like any sort of market correction. It just feels like, they released a very similar film. They created a very similar film out of the same sort of primordial cauldron of creation that these two movies, were born of. They just didn't, they didn't make it work as two movies. It's just kind of the same fucking thing that they made twice. And
but I still think the third one might be the best because I think it's the better, for me, it's the better version of all the same stuff they did the second time. They just made it hornier, I guess.
I understand that a little, but it has the least innovation here. It has this is all stuff we've seen before, and it is the sloppiest. Like it's just a mess narratively. So I can't say that, even though, as I've said, I think some of the best stuff in the entire series is in this film. Varang mostly. Yeah,
pretty much. How about?
I don't know. I what else is there, man? What else do we got? We're gonna see another one, right? It's already past 1 billion, going strong.
Yeah, my guess was that just based on just the fact that it's only been 2 or 3 years since the last one came out, so the novelty isn't going to be as strong as that. The big gap between 1 and 2. I feel like it was I'm not like a great predictor of this stuff, but it felt like, well, if the other ones made it over 2 billion, I feel like this will be cap out around 1.8. It's just, this is, stupid box office talk, but I just feel like it'll still do well, but it'll do a little less than each one, a little bit less than each one.
Well, the massive success of these things remains a big mystery to me. So I don't even know. Maybe this won't make more than any of them. It would make as much sense to me as anything.
And it doesn't.
I don't have a theory why one of these is more successful than the others.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem to help or hurt that there's there's not that many movies out. Like there's some stuff out, right? Like there's not a lot of competition in that regard. Yeah. Like there's counter programming, award stuff. There's Housemaid and stuff like that. Which are
Marty Supreme,
which are doing
very
all
different
right.
Movies,
right? Which are all seem to be doing okay. Like when I went to go see Marty Supreme with a friend, the theater was packed with people. Like they were seeing all kinds of movies. I felt like, right, because it's just the holidays. People just need something to do.
Usually, there's something else for a family to go see. I guess Zootopia and Wicked are still around.
That's true. Zootopia, Wicked is on its way out. Zootopia is definitely still.
Zootopia is huge. Yeah. Zootopia is doing huge. Yeah, I guess that's it. But usually, there's 2 or 3 movies at this time. Next Christmas, I believe, will be Dune 3 and Avengers: Doomsday releasing at the same window here. And
who are you gonna have on for that? I can't. I joke about it, but I can't wait for Doomsday. I'm so.
I would like you to be on for Doomsday, June,
because I'm so interested in.
We're doing a Doomsday episode. I
all
promise.
Reasons beyond what the movie is about. I'm so invested in how this clusterfuck is gonna turn out.
It's the social event of the season. Absolutely. Yeah.
If Varang turns down our invitation, we'll have you on.
All right.
She's my first choice.
I would like to know what she thinks about the state of the MCU.
I do think we're going to see more avatars because of the money involved. Obviously, right. I think that the only question is,
it's a done deal.
To what extent is Cameron himself involved? And
that's the question.
I find myself shocked to say this, but I think I may be most interested in Avatar 4 the less involved he is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To see somebody else who probably has, whose chops I respect less, most likely.
Apparently, Michael Mann is a huge fan.
But at least we'll have different
Avatar
interests in this world.
Michael Mann is a huge fan of the Avatar movies for James Cameron, so maybe get Michael Mann on.
You know who's not going to make an Avatar film? Michael Mann.
He loves them though. I'm just a fan. I just want to watch them, not make them.
No, he's got to repeat himself with Heat 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay. That's what
we're repeating ourselves. Let's wrap this up.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, June. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to our us complain once more about the Avatar films, and finish off the Cameron-arama for now. We'll see if he makes another film. He's talking about a Hiroshima thing, which I'm just like, we'll see what that is, or maybe. Regardless, if you enjoyed this show, please leave a podcast review on the provider or channel of your liking. It helps with visibility of the show, or so I am told. And thank you again. Happy New Year.